You know, I never would have thought that this game would win the vote. I already started doing a video about the British fishing simulator, so I didn't prepare any jokes for this one. Well, I guess you learn something every day. Anyway, welcome to Black Reliquary. We've got femboys, yoinky sploinky, snoo ladies, big chungus, furries, dead terrorists, whatever the fuck this thing is, and so much more. Enjoy your stay. If you clicked on this video, I'm going to assume that you're aware of the emotional roller coaster that is Darkest Dungeon. If you haven't played it, let me give you a quick rundown. Darkest Dungeon is a roguelike game with turn-based combat that is known for exactly two things. Absolutely best VA narrator ever.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. Monstrous size has no intrinsic merit, unless inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue.
Mwah. And absurdly unfair difficulty that is heavily reliant on RNG that doesn't play in your favor. In the game, you hire dumb motherfuckers into your group of professional grave robbers. Then, you form a party of 4 people and delve into the dungeon for loot over and over again until you kill a boss or wipe the entire team. And I should say, one option is much more probable than the other. Combat encounters are frequent, hard, unusually unfair, and can destroy your full party in just a couple of unlucky turns regardless of how much prep work you did. It is because of this the game earned the reputation of being the Dark Souls of roguelike games. I'm not kidding, it's hard as fuck. And not because of difficult enemies or other impossible hurdles, it's because RNG fucks you up every time. Oh, but you'll be back, because it plays like digital crack and it wins award for the most abusive relationship I've ever been in my life. Now back to Black Reliquary. It's a total conversion mod of the basic game. It's very big, it changes a lot of stuff, and it's honestly fun to explore and play.
Are you sure about that?
Just kidding! It's as horrible as the main game. Right at the start, we're giving a warning that we should unlearn everything we know from Darkest Dungeon. That's easy to do because my only piece of knowledge from that game was try not to die, idiot. And I couldn't even follow that one rule, so done. It asks us to forget about the previous game for many reasons, but main among them is that many characters now have different skills. Vestal, for example, now has cooldown on her heals, so you won't be able to carry the entire run with her just as easily as before. You have to treat this mod as a continuation of the main game. Sort of Darkest Dungeon 1.5, but instead of somewhere in Europe, we're in some country that doesn't have democracy or female voters in it. If you like Aladdin and you're also into BDSM, you'll feel at home, because it's way more difficult than the original game. There are people like me, who don't want to play games that take place in the desert. But this here is a happy exception, because they managed to make the valley, that's where the game takes place, as diverse as possible. But more on that later. Man, how come I don't get to pillage ruins of ancient nations, stealing their culture and profiteering on it to build my own mansions like the British? Never mind, we're actually doing exactly that in this game. Let's start by discussing all the conversion stuff the mod team put in the game. I will not go over every small detail because there's lots of them, rather I'll focus on the main stuff and the rest is up to you, dear viewer. Instead of managing a small hamlet, now you're part of the crew aboard the Flying Dutchman, or Sandman would be more appropriate I think. So you enter Sandman, pun intended, and begin your career as an HR management on a ship with the biggest employee turnover you've ever seen. The ship has different facilities just like the Hamlet, with the addition of new functions. But this time we have a lot more tits. A lot more. This is how the game motivates you to come back safely from your foray into plundering national treasures. These facilities mimic the same functions of their predecessor, reducing stress, upgrading gear, leveling up skills, cemetery, hospital to cure diseases and negative quirks, and one new addition to the set, Amber Workshop. Amber is a new currency like gold. You bring it from adventures and refine it in the workshop like this. Afterwards, you can use it to heal stress, trade it, or buy contraband trinkets with it. Aside from main facilities, we have side decks. These give you various bonuses, but they are quite costly. Building side decks is done just like in Crimson Court, you pay with gold and relics. Let's talk about characters, there's a lot to unpack here. As I mentioned before, vanilla heroes have some of their skills reworked to make our fights more tactical. They also added 2 new heroes that feel very balanced and are a welcome addition to our troops, Judicator and Dredge. One is a religious zealot that delivers hits with his Jesus stick, and another is a fucking mecha pilot that has gone from the future. Shinji, get on a fucking robot. Hero panels now contain certain information about a class' various details which were previously hidden. Virtue chants, crit effects, riposte info, and more. Another important mechanic is that now we have different affiliations, religious, pagan faith, or faithless. Some classes can only have one affiliation every time, but others come with different beliefs. But why should you care? You should, because different affiliations bring different buffs to your skills. That way, one skill can now have additional increase to critical attack, damage, or can have increased heal or stress heal. Same goes for camping skills. They also work differently, depending on your hero's affiliation. Exploration is the name of the game. Dungeons are now longer, which means that you have to prepare accordingly. Even small dungeons now give you firewood to rest. We have different dungeons with their own set of rules. For example, let's take a look at Exposed Interior, which, to my knowledge, is called Exterior. Exposed Interior has two types of its dungeon, Moonlight and Sunlight version. You go there without any need for torches. Sunlight one prevents ambushes during resting and scorches your ass all the time, kinda like my summertime vacation in Spain. Moonlight one has a lot of enemies in stealths, so you need to work on your skills to eliminate them. Or take for instance caverns. The rooms are numerous, but unlike Exposed Interior, they are located very close to each other. Or my favorite location, Treasury. It's built around the concept of your greed. Here, most of the time, you will be the one who initiates battle, not the other way around. Finally, an original idea executed in the most fun way possible. I'm having a blast every time I venture into Treasury, because it's also the most beautiful of the bunch. Now you can encounter vendors in the dungeon. They function as a room curio, accepting specific currencies for their services. And speaking of curios, there are so many of them now that you will have to experiment with your items to try to get the best possible outcome. Visual quality of the units is phenomenal. If you showed me Darkest Dungeon and Black Reliquary on two screens, I would never guess which one was the original and which one is a fan modification. Let's talk about combat now. Tentatively, I'm going to say that this game is harder than the original. It expects you to know all the mechanics by heart and doesn't hold your hand for too long. You're being dunked to the deep end of the pool, bucko. Swim up! The first round in combat is now called Preparation Round. Accuracy is halved and critical hits are impossible. Prep rounds should be used for buffs, healing and preparing to strike. This adds a new tactical layer for your gameplay and eliminates some RNG bullshit where you get steamrolled on your first turn because you didn't have time to apply buffs. This really should have been the default feature of the series, because now I can't go back, I'm spoiled. Another new addition in combat is 3 new statuses that your team can use: Ember Blight, Expiation and Enraged. Ember Blight is a debuff, which affects damage done and damage received. Expiation makes the enemy unit hurt himself or heal your entire group when he attacks you. And Enraged, my favorite one, makes the hero heal himself every time he lands a killing blow on an enemy. Get used to them, because enemies will also apply these statuses on you, so be prepared to work around them. Light has been reworked too. You still get buffs from it, but the lower the light level, the tougher the enemies that you will encounter. Granted, they give you better loot, but they are also much more dangerous, so it's a balancing act, for sure. Deathblow is also different. Now, when you're at death's door, you start with maximum amount of deathblow resistance. Successive attacks bring it lower, so the chance to die increases with each attack. Dynamic quirks are now a thing. Now you can earn quirks after successful attacks against factional enemies. This, however, can result in both positive and negative quirks based on the specific faction you fight. Negative quirks will now lock into place over some period of time, so if you don't hurry and nip them in the bud, it will cost you a lot more to eradicate them in the future, so you should be mindful of them and pluck out the worst ones right after you get them. Inventory also changed a little bit. Stack size has increased and items like gems are worth more money than before. Heirlooms, now called relics, are obtained in higher numbers to make your life a little easier. Not exactly a status effect, but now you can temporarily treat sickness in the field with a first aid kit, and then get rid of it back home. That's how you can make a sickness a little bit more tame for the time being, for example during your boss run. Enemy surprise has also been adjusted. It is now a fixed 15% chance. In addition to delaying enemy actions, it also applies stumble and reduces their accuracy by 50%. I have played this game for many hours and I can say that surprise happens more often now, which I like a lot. All this and more is waiting for you in Black Reliquary. Be sure to check it out, I give it my strong recommendation. The mod team has done a tremendous amount of work and I can't believe I can play Darkest Dungeon again, because I thought I was done. This game will make you feel like you have a bipolar disorder. You hate it, but you want to play it no matter how much it hurts. Perfect relationship, wouldn't you say? So if you seek a challenging game, look no further. This game has challenges in droves. Oh, and I know what you're going to ask. What about the narrator? Well, good news and bad news. Well, good news is that now we have a charismatic and verbose captain that is just as quick to narrate everything that's going on as the original one did.
Our enemies are disciplined, wild, or naturally savage. No amount of preparation is too much. Our forces should find refuge here when the burdens of the world become too much to carry.
Bad news, he isn't Wayne June. Oh, in that Middle Eastern accent he has. Sometimes when I play it, I wish I could tell him, "Hey Cap, for one fucking dungeon, would you cool it with the accent, please?" So, make of that what you will. And everybody will need some therapy after playing this mod, because believe you me, luck will not be on your side in Black Reliquary. It's supposed to present us with even bigger challenges, so if you've never played Darkest Dungeon, I suggest you start from the original game first, and not this one. I've been playing Darkest Dungeon a little bit, but even for me this mod seemed quite difficult at times. But it's not as unfair as the original game, that's for sure. Tactical first round takes care of that. So for those who are bored with the first game and don't want to play the second, this is an excellent alternative. It's not more of the same, it's like the first one, but better. It takes all the elements and tries to improve your chances of fair fight, and it's got as many enemies and dungeons as the original game. So, what's not to like? But, don't get your hopes up, RNG here is still strong, probably even stronger than the sequel. And that's why it will cause you to rage quit every time some bullshit happens. But please, don't forget to close the door when you return. Thanks for watching.